there, ladies. Good evening. I hope that you ladies are all doing well. We're doing well at our house. It's actually been a busy couple of days around here. I, since this is what Mom always gets to do, have spent a fair amount of time the last day or two helping my daughter get college graduation announcements ordered and the stuff for her diploma. And I gotta be honest, it made me more nervous than when I ordered my wedding invitations or my wedding cake. It's hard to believe that little girl is finally going to graduate, and we are so stinking excited we can hardly stand it. But that was kind of a long process. There's a lot of choices when you get down to college graduation. Do you want this invitation? Do you want that invitation? Do you want raised ink? Do you want the Longhorn or the UT Seal? What do you want on all of that? Anyway, super excited. I think I probably called her 15 times last night after we did a Zoom call, and I showed her all the order stuff that had come in, and reminded her to get down there this week and get her cap and gown ordered. So anyway, college graduation is in our future. Yay! We are so excited. Okay, I'm excited tonight. We're going to do something a little bit different. Instead of talking at you, I'm going to show you how we organize, or how I organize, since I'm the organizer around here, our books, and not our books, our movies and our music. Now, first things first. We have a lot of movies, so no judging, okay? We have a lot of movies. We are huge movie fans. My husband and I, most evenings after we finally both get done working, we curl up and we watch a movie. And yes, we have bought movies. We watch them over and over again. You just can't see Bruce Willis enough times, and so you got to own those movies. So at one point in time, I looked up and realized we had way too much space tied up with all those DVD cases. And of course, back before that, when the kids were little, it was the VCR tapes. Finally decided, I just don't have enough shelf space to keep all of these. So at that point, that's when I decided to go to the system that we have now. And it's not fancy, but it works for us, okay? So what I do to organize our movies is we use a notebook, okay? Now this is just a regular plain old notebook that you can buy at the office supply store, that you can buy at Target, or that you can buy at Walmart. I like this because it makes it easy to move pages around, and I'm going to show you the pages and stuff that I use here in just a second. But this has, I don't even know how many movies it's got, but it takes up so much less space than to have all of those DVD cases. So, went to the office supply store. Of course, actually, I was a teacher, so I always had notebooks. Got a notebook. I highly recommend, if you do this, that you use the kind that has the D rings, because it makes moving the pages just a lot easier than those regular round rings. And what I've done, you can see here, I have made, first of all, I decorated it up a little bit, because there's no reason organizing stuff can't be pretty. I went to Michael's, got a piece of scrapbook paper, put it in here. Also put some on the spine, and you can see I love my label maker. It's one of those things I cannot live without, and I have made a label for each of the different notebooks. Now, I'll be honest, I've got more than one notebook because we like movies, and we tend to go to the $3 movie bin at Walmart, and we pick up movies. But we live 120 miles from nearly anywhere, and so it's what we do for entertainment, and we have not had cable and those things, so this has been our entertainment. So I have bought, and you can get these on Amazon, you can get them at your office supply store, but basically these pages, these go in here. And the thing I like about using the notebook system, and I do our music differently, I'll show you in a minute. The thing I like about using the notebook is when one notebook gets too full, you can take those pages out and you can start a new notebook. And actually, I've got several notebooks. They fit nicely on a shelf. And I've got one for action movies. I've got one for musicals and romantic comedies. I've got a couple for TV series, things like that. And like I said, if you're a particular fan of somebody, for example, I'll admit I'm a huge Bruce Willis fan. Actually, Bruce Willis was supposed to marry me. He just didn't get the message before he ran off and married to me, but his loss. But if you've got a particular actor or some that you collect their movies, you can just start these and leave a little space, because most of those actors, they want to make mega millions every time a new movie comes out. So if you're going to be adding to the collection, just save some space. Now, One thing that I did with this, since I got rid of the plastic cases, is first of all, I put the plastic cases in to be recycled because no sense just going in the trash. And then I cut out off the cover, I cut out the name of the movie. And you can see here, these are some of my Bruce Willis movies because you can never have too many Bruce Willis movies, in my opinion. Now, some movies I have not cut out the description of the movie. You know, when you get your DVD, you know, it's got the description of it. And for a movie I think I might not remember what it's about, I cut out that part and I put it in with the name of the movie. Now, I don't do that on every movie because I'll be honest, I don't need a description to tell me what The Sound of Music is all about, or Mary Poppins, or Jaws, or Titanic. I know what those are about. But movies that might be a little bit more obscure, I do cut out the description, put it off in there. That way, when we go back and look, you know, something a year later and we think, what was the plot of that movie again? We can just look and see, okay, this was what this was about. And it makes it real easy to pick out our entertainment for the evening. Now, I realize that we could downsize even more and we could digitize all of these, but I'll be honest, I'm not going to. We like our movies. Like I said, we go to the $3 bin at Walmart, we collect them. If Marie Kondo were to come into my house today and ask me, Shelley, do your movies spark joy? I could look her in the eye and tell her, yes, Marie, anything with Bruce Willis sparks joy. But like I said, we love our movies. And it's not just about, you know, or getting organized is not just about downsizing and getting rid of everything. It's about being able to get to the things that you need to get to, and so that you can find them when you want them. It's not about getting rid of everything. And I guess if you want to get rid of everything, that's okay, but I'm not going to. This is something that is our entertainment that we love and enjoy. Now, if I still had young kids at home, I would take this notebook and I would have a separate notebook for kids' movies. And I said, the other thing I went ahead and did is I went ahead and I made an index for it. Now, it took me a little time, I'll be honest, when I first did this, and I made a template and I've got it saved on my computer, and I've got some spaces saved off in so that when I add a new movie, I can either go back to the thing on my computer and print out a new sheet, or since I'm sometimes lazy and don't want to do that, I will leave space and I will just handwrite it in. And then when I get a wild hair and have a bunch, I can go back off and print that again. But that way we have an idea where all of the Bruce Willis movies are, or where all of the Star Trek movies are. We can find them easily. So that is how I organize those. This system works great for us because we have too many movies. I admit it, but I don't apologize for it because it is something that we enjoy. And like I said, if I've seen a Bruce Willis movie once, I've not seen it enough times. So anyway, that is how we organize those. Now, we put these on a shelf, and that's part of the reason that I went ahead and decorated the spines to make them just a little bit prettier. But you could even take and put these in a box if you needed to, and like shove them in something to use like a drawer, or put them down in a cabinet, just however that you needed to keep them. But this works for us. We love it. And like I said, I'll put the link to these because these are super duper easy. And like I said, a package of, it was like $15 or $20. You get enough stuff to hold 400 DVDs or 400 CDs. So that's how we do the movies. Now, the music I do very similar, but just a little bit different. I have bought these to organize our music, and I've even gone ahead and used my label maker because, again, I love my label maker, and have labeled on the front what type of music is in this. These I got, I believe it's Staples, and I like it because it zips up, which means it's just a little bit easier when you're carrying it through. I did not want to do that for the movies, probably just because we had so many more movies than we had CDs. And again, I could digitize all of these. I could, rip them off on my computer. I could do something like that. But we listened to them in the car. We already had a bunch, and so it just was not something that I want to do. Now, for the younger generation that has everything digitized, power to you. That's just not the system that we got started with, so it's not the way that I have kept it. Now, I like the zipper ones, but I don't like them. There's pros and cons. The main, and you can see I'm a nerd here, okay? I'm a Barry Manilow fan. This particular one is Christmas, instrumental, classical, and religious music. And I like to be able to classify things. My rule is put like with like. That way, if you're looking for your Christmas CDs or your Christmas movies, you can pull all of those out. You've got them all together. The thing I don't like about this is you can see that unlike the binder, there's no way to take the pages out, okay? And that's okay, but there are times when your music collection or your DVD collection grows and you don't want to have to take all of these out necessarily and move them. That's the reason I like the removable sheets and the notebook, is it makes that easier to do. Now, I took all of these out of their plastic cases, of course, but I went ahead and kept the little liners and the notes and things that came off inside. And the thing about these that's cool, and it works with the insertable ones too, is you can take that liner that has the list of songs and all of the information, and you can just put that down. It's a little hard to show here and hold this, but you can just put that down in front of your CD so that you've got the information about what's on it and any other information that you want to look up. And again, well, that's kind of hard to do that when you're standing that up. I've got several of these as well, and it just makes a really good, easy way to keep all of those things together. And if you've got an extensive music collection, you could have a notebook for, you know, the different genres, types of music that you like to listen to. The thing I do like about this, and here in just a minute I'll figure out how to zip this back up so I'm not being awkward with this. We know awkwarder's not a word, but anyway. I like the fact that it zips. I do like the fact that it's got this handle, which makes it easy if you're carrying it someplace. And if you are a real social person and you take your music to different places, if you take it to parties, gatherings, school events, if you take, you know, CDs to church as background music for different things, my mother used to do that some, you've got an easy way to carry it with you. So I like that about it. And we used to listen to a lot in the car, and I used to have a long commute for a while, and I would keep some CDs in the car. And since I had taken them out of the plastic containers, I didn't want to just have them loose and, you know, rolling around in the car, because I didn't want to scratch them up, because it is an investment. And so you can get the little ones as well to keep in your car. The little ones would also be a really good way to keep your kids' DVDs organized if you don't have as many, or if your kids are smaller, younger, and they might have a hard time handling something that's bigger and bulkier. This would also be a way that mom could kind of divvy those movies out a little bit at a time so that your children weren't going through a whole ton of movies at one time, because we kind of know how that tends to go. Now, the key with this is making sure that you get the movies put back or the DVDs put back when you're finished, because you don't want your music or your movies to get all scratched up and messed up, because again, you've invested a lot, and like I said, I just don't want Bruce Willis to get all scratched up. So that is how we keep track of all of those things. It's a system that works for us. My brother has a totally different system. He is a huge music fan and is always getting something super cheap, you know, at half-price books or something. He has all of his on a wall, and there's no telling how many CDs that boy's got. I say boy, he's, you know, he's older, but I'm the older one. There's no telling how much he's got, but he has the wall space for it. We did not have the wall space for it, and I didn't want to commit the wall space for it. So that's the reason we went with this system. The good thing is there's lots of different ways, organizers and things that you can get depending on what your needs are, how you like to store things, and how you like to access them. And so that, you know, it depends on your space and it depends on how many you've got. If you've got a double ton, you're going to need a different system than if you've just got a little bit of a handful. So that's how we do that. I just wanted to pop in and, like I said, kind of give you a sneak peek at how we do that. I'd love to know how you organize them and how you keep track of all of those. I wish I had had some of these. You know, back when my kids were little, it was all on VHS, and it would have been really nice to have had them on the DVDs and to have, you know, doled them out a little bit at a time. But live and learn, you know, time marches on. Anyway, that's all for this evening. Just wanted to pop off in and show you that. I hope that y'all have a great evening and a great rest of the week, and go tame some frenzy. We'll talk to you later.